Hello fellow homesteaders. Today we are going to be working on cleaning our drains naturally so they are not full of caustic chemicals. They're not good for us, the environment, or the pipes in our sink. This one is based on regular standard table salt, baking soda, vinegar, and a little bit of boiling hot water. The first thing we'll do is take a fourth of a cup of standard table salt and pour it right down in the drain. Try to pour carefully so that you're getting as much in the drain as you possibly can. Some will get stuck a little bit on the sides, and that's fine. Just take your finger and knock it in. Doesn't hurt anything if it gets stuck on the ring around there. It will also help clean goo and gunk off of it. We're going to knock the pieces here that's on the little separator grate. And after we put the fourth of a cup of the table salt in, we will be measuring a half a cup of baking soda. I had to go scrounging for baking soda. I've used almost all that I had in the house on our goats. We had some goat bloat going on recently. And giving them baking soda's free choice helps prevent that and also helps take care of it naturally. I'm just a little shy on half a cup, but that's all right. I'm going to go ahead and pour this in right on top of the salt. Trying to make sure as much as possible actually gets down into the drain. I'm stuck to my measuring cup here. One of the reasons why I like stainless steel ones, they're easy to clean and nothing sticks to them. I'm going to knock that in. And hopefully you can see there just a little bit of white coating left over. Now, before we do the next part, you need to have something to cover your drain, one of those little plastic or rubber covers that go over it. I don't have either one of those types of things. So I'm just going to use this decorative cast iron little skillet that a candle came in that I reuse for potpourri, and you'll be laying it on top of your drain to make sure that all the fizz and bubbles that I'm going to delay putting the cover on for a little bit so that you can see. So it traps that inside, so it forces them down into the drain to coat it and clean it and get away all the grease and gook and junk. And it could clog up your drain. You can do this when you have a clog to help loosen it up before you might run a snake down it. It may take several times of treatments, possibly even 3 if it's a really deep clog. If you've had grease down there, or if you have a garbage disposal and who knows what the kids have run down through it that shouldn't be in there, grease in particular. So it might take several times. It doesn't have all the caustic harsh chemicals. You might have to repeat the process, but it's cheap and it's easy and doesn't take very long. If you get in the habit of doing this once a week to keep the drains nice and clean, hopefully it will prevent a lot of those clogs. So I'm going to pour in the vinegar, and you should be able to see, as well as hear, all the fizzing you would expect when you combine vinegar with the baking soda. Normally I pour this in quickly, but I wanted you to see what it does. And go ahead and pour the rest of it in. I will take this little skillet that I'm using for a cap so that no more of the bubbles and foaming escapes. More did than what I would have wanted to. So I want to make sure as soon as you're pouring your vinegar in, you slap your lid right on there. Now leave that sit at least 15 minutes. 30 to 60 minutes is better, giving it plenty of time to work in your pipes and break everything up. Even if you are going to snake it, still go ahead and leave it in there to let it do its job. Some people use borax, and I have before. Borax and boric acid are not the same thing, not by a long shot. Borax isn't natural like the baking soda. It will work more strongly than this, and it will not give you the low tox that you want, but you still won't be adding as chemicals for you to breathe and your family to breathe down in your pipes as if you use some manufactured Drano type product. I'm not really opposed to using borax. I do use it a lot of my laundry detergents that I make, but we're trying to go all natural here. It is an option. I don't think it's a really bad option, as opposed to lots of things that you could use. But like I said, it's not all natural. We're going to leave this on here. When I do take it off, I don't think it's too soon to show you now, but when I take it off, it's just going to be a little bit of residue of bubbles. You might see a little bit of the white from the salt of the baking soda left. But when you take it off, you're going to take your water that you had boiled. Really hot water from your sink will work, but not as well as boiling water. Go ahead and take a couple minutes to boil some water, and then you pour it down there, and it flushes it, not out quickly to get rid of it, but it will flush it still kind of quickly, but it'll flush it through the rest of your pipes to help clean and coat them from the areas that it didn't. I'll go ahead and lift this off, and you can see there's still bubbles there. It's only been a minute or two, so it's still lingering and doing its job and activating. That's why you want to let it sit for at least 15 minutes, if not the 30 to the 60. And if you have to repeat it because your sink is not unclogged, you can do it immediately. You can do it 3 times in a row. You can do it once in the morning and once in the evening. The time frame isn't really going to make a difference. I would suggest if you do them back to back, what you got loosened up but not loosened up enough to get rid of might be easier to come off since it's already working that way.